if you are committed to living your life to the fullest, one of the things you have to commit to doing is being a lifelong student. Hi, I'm Coach Ricardo Miller. For those of you joining us for the very first time here on our Effective Living YouTube channel and Facebook page, the goal is to provide you practical tips to living life to the fullest. I'm joined today with my kingdom brother and friend in the Bahamas. He is none other than Landlord himself. Welcome back to Effective Living, bro. How you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm honored to be here back on the show with you, man. I've been watching you. You're doing big things, man, and I'm proud of you.
Hey, listen, bro. The goal here for me is chipping away. And I wanted to have this conversation with you because I feel as though we have sort of a kindred spirit in this philosophy, and that is when the dust settles, we'll still be here. Come on.
Definitely, bro.
You know? So what happens is a year has passed, 3 years have passed, 5 years has passed, 8 years have passed, 10 years have passed. And guess what? Landlord is still here.
Consistent.
Come on. Ricardo Miller is still here. Consistent. Man, bro, how's the family? How's life? How is the Bahamas?
Man, the family is better than me. You know, as long as I have bread, I'm going out there to do what I got to do to make sure that they're straight. The Bahamas is great. And, you know, we're like you say, we're chipping away, man. We're not sleeping. We're working.
Yep. Listen, I've been reading a lot on the Bahamas, and boy, the record numbers of tourists coming to our shores has been mind-blowing. I think it's record numbers. And I don't know if you know, but this coming October, I have an Effective Living annual cruise. This is my second annual one, and we coming to the Bahamas out of Galveston, Texas. Okay. I'm bringing my crew. We come into the Bahamas. We go into Nassau. We go into Freeport. We go into Coco Key and another destination. Right. And I told them, I said, hey, listen, as long as there's a ship going into the Bahamas, Ricardo Miller is going to be bringing in a crew every year. That's awesome. And my prayer is one day, they have that whole one side of the ship, they got a banner just drop on the side and say, Ricardo just landed.
Wow, that's awesome. Wait, that's a big dream, and guess what? That can happen, bro. Straight up.
I believe that. And so, man, listen, I wanted to talk to you about the whole concept of representing the Bahamas, representing kingdom, which I believe you have done so well. You and I have not had the opportunity to sit down and like break bread together. I'm coming to Bahamas soon again, so I'm gonna hopefully try to see if we can make that happen. But from a distance, I've always admired you. I've always respected you. I've always seen you consistently doing your thing.
Yes.
Where did that come from, bro?
Well, my passion. I just feel that there is something that I was born with, and I have to release it before I exit this world. And I realized that, you know, God has given everyone 24 hours, and I have to deal with my 24 hours in a way that, you know, I don't have no time to waste. I don't have no time to sleep. So I sleep less and work more. Everybody get 24 hours. A lot of people are sleeping 20 hours and waking 4. I'm trying to work 20 hours and sleep 4. So I get to do more. Because a lot of people ask, but Landlord, you have 3 TV shows, you have 2 radio shows, you're doing this, you're doing that, you run a business, you get a family. How do you find the time? I just sleep less and I work more. You know, I remember traveling with Dr. Miles a few years back. And while we was in the jet, we were coming back from Jamaica, and I asked him a question. I say, Dr. Miles, how do you do so much? I see you writing so much books. You're traveling all over Africa. You're doing this. You have your family. You're preaching here. You're teaching here. How do you find the time? He said, Landlord, if you want to be great, you have to sleep less and work more. Those who sleep more gonna get less out of life. And so I learned that, and I have took that, I have applied it to my life, and I'm running with it.
My God, that's so good, bro. That's so good. With you mentioning that Dr. Miles Monroe, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking, the late Dr. Miles Monroe had a significant role to play in Landlord's life. Talk about how Dr. Miles Monroe helped you to tap into purpose, and how and what was some of the other significant, impactful moments that you will never lose sight of, because you know what, these were the significant moments that define you. Talk about a few more of those from the late Dr. Miles Monroe in regards to you.
You know, growing up, I grew up with humble beginnings. I had a very low self-esteem, my brother, very low self-esteem, and I'm still fighting hard and battling it, you know, because growing up, people told me that I was a zero. Nothing good would ever come out of me, you know, and I started to believe it. You know, I thought that, you know, I would never thought I would have been an entrepreneur. I've been working for myself for over 20 something years, and that's only because attending the Bahamas Faith Ministries, the teaching of the kingdom teaching from Dr. Miles and Pastor Richard Pinder have really transformed my life, because like I said, I really believed in what others said about me as a young man. And so going to Bahamas Faith Ministry and learning about the kingdom, and, you know, and realizing that God see me as a king and not as a nobody, and that I am great, and that anything that I desire to have, I can have. And I started to believe that. And Dr. Miles saw that within me. He took me one day, he called me, he said, "Landlord, I see great potential in you. You don't see it in yourself." He said, I want you to start traveling with me. But he said, I could pay for your ticket. But if I pay for your ticket, you would not value what I'm doing for you. And so I didn't understand what he was saying at that time. I'm saying, well, this guy, he have a lot of money, or blah, blah, blah. You know how many of us are off the street. I just came off the street. That's the thing you would be thinking. You know, he can do this for me easy. But he's trying to teach me a lesson. And so I worked very hard. And 90% of the trips that we took, we went to Africa, Mexico, the Caribbean, the US, London, you know, all over the world. I paid my way. And he said, once you paid your way, I will make sure you have somewhere to sleep, you have food to eat, transportation. I'm going to take care of you. And then after, when he got his jet, because I was so consistent and serious about my craft, he said, "Landlord," he would call me. He said, "Landlord, what you doing now?" I said, "I'm not doing nothing." He said, "Meet me by the airport. Come go with me here. Come." And I didn't have to pay for nothing. And when we traveled, he would give me his card. He said, "My landlord, go to the shop and just buy whatever you want." I would go and buy suits, and, you know, that's the type of relationship we had. And one day, he was teaching in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he went to school, to ORU. He gave me a little tour first, and then he was teaching, and he said, "There is a young man in this conference. He is so great, and he's going to be great one day, but he don't even see it. He don't even know it." And he started to point in the direction where I was standing. But Ricardo, I really didn't believe it. I turned around and started to look behind, because I was trying to figure out, who are you talking about? Because it can't be me. I do not have no education. I grew up with nothing. I can't speak well. There's so much saying, so much flaws. It can't be me. But he said, "You're going to be great. The world is going to know you." And I started to turn around, and he said, "Landlord, I'm talking about you." And I started to cry, because he believed in me when others believed in me. And that would change my life. And I started to believe the teaching that he taught me, that I am somebody, I am great, and anything that I desire, I can have. And that is what really catapulted me, and started to have confidence in myself. I start to pick up my chest now. And some people would see it as arrogance, but I see it as confidence. They don't understand where I came from. They don't understand I had to build myself to be who I am today, because I never thought I would ever amount to anybody.
Listen, man, you're blessing me already. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're talking with Landlord. He's in the Bahamas. This brother has been doing it. He's continuing to do it. And I just thought tonight I wanted to dive into his mind and capture some of the truths that he has acquired over the years. And so, as he just mentioned just now, I want to dive in, and I want to say this, bro. I remember years ago watching you on the stage, okay, watching you perform and watching other guys in the Bahamas perform, blown away. Because here's the deal: you mentioned self-esteem and the lack of believing in yourself at certain stages of your development. I struggle with that too, and I'll tell you this: when I saw you, I didn't see any low self-esteem. I saw confidence to the max, and I felt so impressed that I was like, "Look at her do it, man!" And let me say this: a good friend of mine's, pastor there in the Bahamas. Him and I was going to one of the park rallies they was having back in the day, and it was one. I'm talking 20 years now. I'm talking. It was popping.
Really
Yeah. We're talking popping, talking utilize.
Yes.
You know, and I don't know if you remember when they brought in the motorcycles and utilized.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Right? I was in there sitting at the back kind of deal. Okay.
Wow.
And here's the deal. I'm from Soldier Road, had credits on the streets.
Yes.
But when I showed up in there, I was just sort of like totally withdrawn.
Yes.
Right? And the fella I was with, I say, boy, these fellas them something else. I say, boy, look at these dudes. And the fellow with me, his name is you know him, man, Pastor Stephen Monroe.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Pastor Stephen Monroe, Prophet Monroe. Sort of, I won't get inside. He said, "But he's up by these dudes is man like you know."
Yeah.
Hey, God is going to use you too, right?
Yes.
And at the time, I didn't see myself
Yes.
being used. I just was admiring those who are being used. You
Yes.
said something. People have coined it sometimes arrogance. He a little cocky. He a little bit. When they don't know the work that has gone into you being refined.
They don't know.
The work that has brought you to this place where you are admired and you're receiving awards here, recognition here, and things are moving in a direction where it's impressive, and they're labeling it arrogance, cocky. He's a little bit too much. Talk about the work that you had to do to really keep chipping away of the insecurity, the doubt, and continue to refine the fact that when a mic gets in your hand, it's your moment and you had to learn how to deliver. Talk to us about that process.
You know, because of my past, I developed a character of being more an introvert. To tell you the truth, I do not like crowd. I'm a shy person. If for years when I go to a concert, people who know me, they would wonder why I would always want to go to the back. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. And that's just me. And some people may think, oh, I stuck up or whatever, but that's just me. I just love my space. You understand what I'm saying? And so for years, I even being an artist, all I knew, I loved to sing. But for some reason, when I get on the stage, I get scared. You understand? So when I see crowd, I get not scared, but butterflies.
Yeah.
And so I had to really pump myself up whenever there was time for me to deliver on stage, and me transitioning from a gospel artist into what I'm doing now as a radio and TV host, that was totally, a curveball. I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. I went to Nashville, Tennessee a few years back, and I was signed with Jay Moss' sister and her husband. You know our international singer Jay Moss.
Yep, I do.
Got signed from his sister and her husband, and they took me to the Stellar Awards. And I just released a new album, and when I was there, I seen all these big artists, and I pushing my album. I excited. I said, boy, I'm finally here. I did other things. I worked with Luciano, made it, number 5 on the charts in the UK and China and this way and doing this. So I said, oh yeah, now I in the US, and man, not knowing that God was preparing me for something else, So when I went there, around those time, it was Messenger, it was in WhatsApp, and I went into the computer room to send a message to this guy. He came to me. Later on, he came to me and he told me, he said, Landlord, when I met you down there in the computer room, I was in my room and I wanted to sleep. The Lord told me to go down to the computer room. There's somebody I have down there for you to meet. And this guy, he just came in there, sit down. He wasn't using no computer. He wasn't doing nothing. And me and him just started talking, and we, became friends. He introduced me to the owner of Ty Scott record label, the first biggest major black owned record label in America, where all of Anthony Brown and all those big artists are part of, Rance Allen, and all the big names. And he introduced me to him, and not knowing that this guy worked with all the Motown and all these big people. And we just stayed in contact. And when I came back to the Bahamas, after Dr. Miles died, I stopped going to church for almost 2 years. It wrecked my life. I couldn't go to church because every time I went, the songs, the pictures, certain things I saw, it, I would just automatically break down.
Okay.
And I start to question God. A great man like Dr. Miles, what happened? God, where did you went wrong? I started to question my faith and all of these stuff. I wasn't into singing no more. I wasn't into church no more.
Okay.
And then he called me, my partner today, Michael Davis, Mike D. He called me, said, Landlord, you're strongly on my mind. You ever considered having your own radio show? I said, what? Radio show? I said, Mike, I can't hardly speak. I stutter. I ain't smart. I don't know nothing about these things. I ain't qualified. I try everything in the world. This man run me down. And he said, Landlord, don't worry about nothing. I went to the best schools. He went to schools like what most of the announcers on CNN and MSN and all of that, they were his classmates. So he is what you call a true journalist. And so he said, Landlord, I would mentor you. He said, I know you stutter. I know you have little issues, but I will work with you. And so he mentored me. And he said, Landlord, this is how you do it. We start working on pre-recorded shows. And, and at that time I say in my mind, I don't know what this man is doing. I ain't, this ain't for me, man. I just a street guy. I ain't smart. I one of the knives in the cupboard, but I ain't the sharpest knife in the cupboard. And so, I try to find everything to run away from it.
Yeah.
And then, I done had people telling me, or, people's coming to me, oh, Landlord believe he is, doing radio. He this, he that. And I had to deal with that. And so I had to build myself up within, and I had to speak to myself, encourage myself, counsel myself, because sometimes you're not going to have people there to talk to who could speak life within you, and you have to be the one to really speak life to yourself. And so I had to separate myself from people, certain people, who was trying to poison me and tell me no, that you can't do it. You understand what I'm saying? And so that was what I had to face here in the Bahamas from many. You understand what I'm saying? I had to face that. And so I already was dealing with low self-esteem, and then to compound that, you had all of this filth coming to me that, no, you can't do it. You're not good enough, or, but I started to believe in myself, and I had people who was by my side, or, who stand there, who said, Landlord, you could do it. And, now today, I started the radio show. Our first person that we interviewed was Pastor Shirley Caesar. He started Caribbean and Urban American radio show. That was 8 years ago. After Dr. Miles already prophesied, he came to me while he was dead a year later in my dreams and told me that, Landlord, you're going to be doing these great things, and people all over the world is going to come find you, and they're going to look for you. You're going to travel all over the world and impact the world. And, we started that. And next thing you know, today we're on 90 plus radio networks all over the world.
Wow. And
then I ended up starting a job where we were fixing ATMs. I met a guy there. He was a fan, and he's like, Landlord, you ever thought about doing a TV show? I said, what? A TV show? I said, what's wrong with y'all people? Something wrong with y'all? One coming radio show now, TV show. I said, buddy, I ain't for that. I can't talk. I can't speak well. I am not smart. Blah, blah. He said, man, Landlord, don't worry about nothing. The company gave us iPhone 5s. each of us iPhone 5. That would be short our first 6 episodes. He downloaded the app on the computer and he started to edit it. That's how we start our first shows, Positive TV. And now today, because I have developed myself, I align myself with people who are doing what I want to do. And see, that's the problem. When you want to do something great, you have to align yourself with people who are great and who are doing it. And you have to separate yourself from dream killers. Because a lot of people who you grow up with, you can't hang around them no more, brother. Because they will kill your dream because they already see you, the old you. They never gonna believe you change. They're never gonna believe that you can rise above that level because they always can see you as that barefoot boy or you being on that street, blah blah ray. But you have to align yourself with people who see the king in you, and that is what I did. And I'm telling you today, God has been taking me from one level to another, and so my esteem is way up here. Growing up, it was way down here. So I don't allow filth to come within my mind anymore. Anytime I start to feel that negative energy, I go the other way. You understand what I'm saying? And so that is what has been keeping me and pushing me to go forward. Because if I stay around negative people, I would not be the person that I am today.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking with Landlord, and it's all about, listen, representing the Bahamas, representing the kingdom. And this brother has been doing it, and he's been doing it for a while. And as he just mentioned just now, you talked about something, and I want to pull a couple of points out of that. In one, that there were people who didn't see the greatness in you, but you saw it over time, did the work to become who you are today. But I want to talk about this whole element of learning to speak to yourself when there's no one else to speak to you, and learning to go when you know you're not qualified in the traditional sense of the word. Now, I left R.M. Bailey with an attendance certificate, bro.
Me too.
Okay. Attendance certificate. And when I look back over my life, I'm a continual learner. I love learning. I'm still chipping away at trying to figure out how to become better. And I believe my best days are still in front of me. That said, though, I look back over my life and recall not feeling worthy of, watch this, of doing what I was doing, but wasn't feeling worthy of what I was doing.
Wow.
I was traveling to the nations. I was doing the TV shows. I was in the newspaper. I was speaking to the who's when it comes to different ministers here in the United States and throughout the region. And still found myself doubting me because of how I was raised. Where I said, man, I don't have no degree. I don't have diploma, my mispronunciation of certain words. Hey, listen, hey, Landlord, I was doing one workshop one time, right? Doing a leadership workshop, and fellas, them was talking in the initial setup of the workshop before it kicked off. And a guy heard my island accent, and I said tree. And he said, what you say? And so he started cracking joke and tried to make the pronunciation correct. Now the soldier road in me came sort of stirring up a little bit. And I want to say that loud. Say crack that joke again before I bust you in your head. Right? I was sort of stirring up and feeling it, and the Holy Spirit had to bring me down and say, hey, don't forget, you're one of the speakers here. These people paying you to be here. And Landlord, God be my witness, I spoke for those guys. This was my opening remarks. It was something like this. I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad to be here today. Leadership is what I enjoy doing. I love teaching and breaking down what I've discovered in leadership. Now, here's the deal. I've traveled to a lot of countries, and one of the things I've come to understand, anybody who's traveled a bit knows that everyone sounds funny somewhere. Hey, watch this. And the room went quiet. I said, but that's only for people who have traveled. If you've never traveled, hey, Lala, I was trying to live. I said, if you've never traveled, you see, if you've never traveled, you'll crack joke because you ain't never been anywhere where you're the only one.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so watch this. If you came from Mexico to the Bahamas, you're gonna sound funny. If you're from the Bahamas and you go to New York, you're gonna sound funny. If you come from
Yes.
New York and you go to Texas, you're gonna sound funny. If you go from Texas to Jamaica, you're gonna sound funny. But it
Yes.
only takes those who travel to know that.
Yes.
And I took a minute to do that, bro. I took a minute and I say, so with that said, being from the Bahamas, I have an accent and some of my words may not pronounce itself the way you pronounce yours. So if you need me to repeat myself, just say that again.
Yes. Yes.
I say, and I want the whole room, I want you to say that for me. Say it again. And then everybody, I made light of it, right?
Yes.
Those dudes was in the back all quiet and everything.
You match them right up, man. You match them right up, and that's facts. You know, everywhere you go, there's a different culture.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So people say things differently, and because of your the wealth of knowledge that you have, you know how to deal with that. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And I had to learn to do it. But here's the deal: believe it or not, bro, I still struggle. And it wasn't until I just got married not so long ago. And my wife now, she's telling me, listen, turn it down for what? Okay? She's like, crank it up. When I tell you, when she said, listen, you don't go into rooms to fit in.
Yes.
You go into rooms to stand out.
Stand out, yes.
Okay? You go into a room to be a light in a dark world. You go to be a light on a hilltop. You go to represent the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Somebody said, but listen, you ain't skilled with a college degree, but I'm skilled with a stone and a sling. And none of y'all can do stone and sling like me.
Yes, yes.
Because I'm David and I'm called to kill a giant for such a time as this. Wow. With something none of y'all are accustomed to.
That's powerful, bro.
Now, I want to say this to you, bro. I want to say this to you because I want to learn from how you've been able to keep chupping along. And I want you to talk to our viewing audience about what you had to do to keep going when the energy around you, you mentioned it a couple of times, what you had to do, but I want you to give it as a lesson to somebody who's watching. Mm-hmm. The environment you're in is discouraging, and how you were raised was limited. In other words, you weren't raised to think significant, and the environment that you're in is insignificant. It's not big enough to take you anywhere, and now you're dreaming big.
Yes.
How did you keep pushing through that? Give us a couple of things that really was significant difference.
Let me try to simplify that for the viewers. You know, for many years, I thought the problem was the seed, which is me.
Yeah.
But later on, after learning more about who I am, I realized that the seed wasn't the problem. Wow. The environment was the problem. You could take a seed and put it in the middle of the road, let the sun shine on it, pour water on it, put soil on it. It will never, ever grow because it isn't the seed. But if you take that seed and you put it in the right environment, you water that, you put the sun on it, the soil, and it blossoms into a forest. And so what you're seeing today is I were able to transform myself into different environments that were conducive to my growth. And I start to align myself with the people who I think will get me where I need to go. And today, what you see today is the growth of that move that I've made. And so that is how I was able to effectively make that great change.
Wow. Thank you for that example. That's a really, really good one. That's phenomenal. I want to ask you this. You're still here, and I referred to it at the opening, when the dust settles, I'll still be here. I really believe that in my whole heart. And when I look at you, I feel as though that's a message that you can almost confidently say too. Even if you may have never coined it that way, I think at the end of the day, if anybody's been watching you, they'll say, hey, listen, he's still here. Now, my question to you is, where do you see people going wrong so much where you're seeing concept birth, but you're only seeing a year, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, and they're not lasting? What's going on there? Because along the line, you've seen many come. And here's the interesting thing, Landlord, and I've seen this for myself. I've seen them come with better website than me. I've seen them come with suits. They came with communication degrees.
Yeah.
I don't have a degree. They're communication degrees. They were in the school to communicate, and they still didn't survive.
No.
They had better flyers than me.
Mm.
They had daddy name. They had mommy money.
And they had money. And they had money.
And they had money. and they ain't around, and you're around.
Yeah.
What's going on?
The key to that is our passion, bro. Passion is the driving force to, to anyone's success. If you're not passionate about something, you will automatically just quit. See, for years, I thought music was really my passion. But I get the greatest gratification from helping upcoming artists get to another level of their career. And when I see the tears and the smiles on their face, that is the best feeling that any man could ever get. That's what it's done for me. So that has been driving me. That passion. I am not hot to hold no mic to sing on no stage no more. So people are always sing. They always call me. I used to be hot up to go to this concert, this one, that one. But that is not my passion no more. My passion is doing what I'm doing today, helping other artists. And because, there's a lot of artists out there who have been singing for years. They have pumped a lot of thousands of dollars into their ministry. But because they're not connected to certain cliques or certain people, they're never going to get heard and never going to get the opportunity that they need to get. And me, a person who just come up now, who didn't have no type of qualification, God has been able to align me and connect me with the right set of people to be doing what I'm doing today. I am able to assist them and put them in places that they never dreamed that they would ever be. Places like Zambia, Malawi, Nigeria, South Africa, UK, Canada, the Caribbean, all over the world. I tell you, big men and women are bursting out in tears, crying, because they never thought that one day they would see their music played in these countries. And now they are being interviewed by people all over the world. And that right there, I sit back. And that is where I get my gratification. So I'm very passionate about that. So every day, every week, I have to produce one show. My radio show, I have to send it out to 90 stations every Friday morning. Then every month, I have 3 TV shows that I have to shoot and edit, record. Different from, having a family and have to work. I also have the other radio show in the Turks and Caicos. I just have to do that. I have the interviews and edit that. So there have to be a driving force behind me, and that driving force behind me is the passion to see these artists to get out there, and that is what makes me feel good. To know that I am able to assist and get people out there and bring their dreams to some type of reality. And until you find that passion, you will quit in a second. Because I've watched a lot of people who are smarter than me, more money than me, they more qualified than me. But guess what? They start and they quit in less than a couple months. You know why? A lot of them only start because they see you doing it. They say, "Oh, what a guy dumb man. He know they do it. He can do it. I can do it. But come and do it. Come and try it. Come on, try it and see. And trust me, what me and you are doing on a daily basis will kill plenty people.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? So if you wasn't called to do this, leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking with Landlord. And let me tell you something. As you're listening to us, go ahead, pull out your journal, take notes of what you need to get to feed your spirit. Find your passion. Be willing to go where no one else has gone before. I asked the question to one of my clients the other day, and I said, can God trust you to do something that nobody else is doing around you? Where there is no reference point, where you now have to birth something where there is not a support system. Can God trust you with that? Because sometimes we have to build ourselves up to be able to do that. Landlord, I have a couple more questions and we're done. And this one is big. I think it's going to help a lot of people. I found that there are a lot of people who don't want to start with what they have. You mentioned at the beginning, you said, hey man, we use this, I think it was
iPhone 5.
an iPhone 5, and we started off there, and we
Yes.
came away at using what we had to
Yeah.
create what we needed.
Yes.
Talk to me about that and our viewing audience.
Yes. All you have to do, if you have a dream, just start.
Yeah.
If you wait on getting certain stuff, you will never start.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So with me starting with the iPhone, man, when I first did our first 6 episodes, man, you could hear all kind of wind, all kind of whoosh, all kind of car horn and all that, because I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't know that, hey, you need an audio box to capture the audio, and then you need the camera to capture the visual. And so I had to learn that. And so after, time gone by, I end up learning, and I end up getting some funds, and I bought me a nice camera. I bought an audio box, and I just continue to build. You understand what I'm saying? I continue to learn. I continue to ask questions. And then right now, today, if you have an iPhone, you could buy a little device. It's very cheap, maybe $30. You hook it up to your iPhone, and you could do interviews with your iPhone. You understand what I'm saying? It's so many different ways that you could do a great production at a cheap cost. But if you really want to do something, I've realized something. What people are not interested in, they find excuse for. But when you are interested in something, you can find the time for it. And that is have shown me and many others that have been watching that they could see that I love what I do, because they have seen consistently. I have not fallen off for 8 years consistently. Every Friday morning, these radio stations know that they're gonna get an email from me, and so I've been consistent, bro.
Yeah, wow, that is amazing. Last 2 questions. Let's talk about paying the price. Clearly, you had to pay the price. You paid the price. Hey, you paid the price when there was the option to travel, but you had to pay your own ticket, and you said, I'll pay. You paid the price when you said, hey, listen, I had to go get me a camera, I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to do that. And then there are a lot of, the opportunity came, but there was an expense factor built into it. A lot of people don't want to pay the literal price, and a lot of people don't want to pay, when I say the financial price, but a lot of people don't want to pay also the effort.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, it takes hours sometimes to edit.
Hours.
You see? And that's a price
weeks.
Right? Yeah. Right? So you have all of this time you have to put into editing. And then you have all of this money you have to put in to get the tools.
Yes.
They want what you have. They don't want to pay the price you paid. Talk about that whole element of, if greatness is within you, then there's a price that has to be paid for it to be birthed.
That's a good question. A lot of people say that salvation was free. But salvation wasn't free. Christ paid the price. And you see what he had to go through to pay. There's nothing out there is for free. Nothing. Someone have to pay for it. And that's the problem that I had when I came back here in the Bahamas. I was doing a lot of touring, going to different conferences, and sitting under a lot of promoters and who was mentoring me. And I had to spend, every time I travel, I was spending like $2,500 because I pay for my ticket, hotel, transportation, food. And so every time I would be going to different conferences in 1 year, maybe with 4 or 5 different conferences. So that's a lot of money I was spending out. Different from traveling with Dr. Mars to all these places. I've spent maybe over $500,000 just investing in me. You feel what I'm saying? Over the years. And so now I've hooked up with these guys who have been doing promotions because a lot of artists, what they don't understand and where we fell down in the Bahamas, because even with me, when I first started, I was hanging and sitting under people who believe that, okay, you go in the studio, you pay the studio man, and then afterwards you put it on a CD or put it on email and just send it to the radio station. That's how we were taught. But no, that is not proper protocol. Proper protocol is you put a bio your MP3, and a picture of you. Because number one, if you send just an MP3 with no bio, no picture, a person getting that email down in Dubai, how could they tell where this came from? They can't even talk about the person. If you have a bio, it speaks about the person. If you see a picture, you know how the person look. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of artists do not, they need to be educated on the business. Not being, see, there's parts of the industry. There is the music side, but there's a business side. And later on, I get to find out that in the music industry, it is 90% business and 10% performance. And we have been doing it backwards for years. And that's why a lot of Bahamian artists haven't been making money or finding no success financially because they've been doing 90% performance and 10% business. But if you look in the States, before many of these artists do anything, boy, you got to sign that contract, buddy. Then you got to sign that contract. And so, so now coming to the Bahamas, learning all that I've learned, I say, man, I see a lot of great talent here, and I would like to push them. But it's gonna cost, because what the work I'm doing now is public relations. You understand what I'm saying? Promotion and stuff. And what a lot of artists have to understand, radio stations and TV stations is what make hits, not artists. You can be the best singer in the world, but if radio stations, DJs don't play your music, nobody would ever know you even exist. You ever listen to a song for the first time, and the minute you heard it, it's like you don't like it, but let them continually play it over and over. And that's why they call it radio program, TV program. So what they're doing actually are programming people to either like you or dislike you. So media is very powerful in the success of any artist. And so a lot of artists do not understand how to respect that power. And so what a lot of the artists who are successful out there are doing, they are hiring PR personnel who have the knowledge and the connection to get them on these certain platforms. You see, so the artists who are independent, who do not know the business, who don't know people, they are out there just scrambling because they don't know what to do. And so people like me make it easier for the upcoming artists, even some of the artists who've been out there, because they just don't know. You understand what I'm saying? And so radio stations don't make money by playing your music. They make money by packages. So you'll always hear them say, this show was sponsored by blah, 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 blah. That's how they make money. So if a station has been promoting you for years, causing you to get different bookings, why, when you make a few dollars, you can't go to the station and say, hey, could I purchase a $150 package to promote, support the station that is supporting you. Because if that station closed down, you could forget all about yourself. You're done. You understand what I'm saying? So just like a station here in the Bahamas, Joy FM, all the artists that they have supported over the years and made them a brand name in the country. If Joy FM closed down, what will many artists do? You understand what I'm saying? Joy FM have bills they have to pay, rent, light, people who work there. So help promote and support these people who are being supporting you. And that's what a lot of the artists fail to understand. And so me trying to show them, when I first came, I get fight, buddy. I get fight. They said, what, pay you? What? A lot of them stopped talking to me, brother. They stopped talking to me because, I told them, okay, well, when they come to me, they want this, they want that. I said, okay, well, this is how this works. You understand what I'm saying? I do not work for a radio station. I don't get a salary. All I am is a content provider. All I did is create content, and I try to negotiate with different radio station, TV station, and I have to pay out of my pocket. If I want to be on this station, it comes out of my pocket. I paid for it. And then you want it for free. You understand what I'm saying? So, but a lot of them, they don't know, and somebody have to tell them. You feel what I'm saying? And so a lot of artists just have to be educated on the business and see how it works. And once they learn how it works, their career will be elevated much quicker in time.
Wow. So good. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we've been talking with Landlord in the Bahamas. I've enjoyed this conversation so much. I got one more question for you, and I want to help some people even more so back home. there are a lot of people who are wanting to take off, but they are despising and not respecting the voices that be like yourself, like Joy, and the other stations that where, okay, this guy is doing it, I'm going to plug myself. And so, local artists, what do you say to them about respecting local businesses that are birthed in the Bahamas that can help navigate them through, like you and a number of other entities? What do you say to them about making sure that, hey, respect the process and, and do the work that the process is demanding, because what you sow, you reap. You're not going to lose.
Yes.
Okay. Watch this. Watch this. I say this to my clients. I'm looking about 6 or 7 of my clients' books right in front of me that I've coached them through the whole process. And I tell my clients when I'm coaching them, Landlord, hey, listen, your check that you give me on a monthly basis doesn't do me anything for the long haul if you don't win.
Yeah. I tell my clients the same thing.
Is it my goal in life is for you to win, because if you win,
I win.
Through the avenue to which I bring to the table, I win.
Yes.
So don't get it twisted. When I give you a bill, I'm not just taking your money. I have vested interest in making sure that you win.
That's powerful, and that is how it works too. I tell my clients the same thing. I say, if you lose, I lose, because if I'm promoting you, and you use a failure, that means what I'm doing for you is a failure. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So it ain't all about the money, but you need that money to make things happen. You understand what I'm saying? That's all you be trying to get to a lot of these artists and let them understand it. And then a lot of times they look at all these big artists, they're out there, they're doing it. But if they notice, these artists have PR people. They're paying them a salary to promote them, to hook up interviews and get them out there. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is, we just have to catch up. Catch up with the world. The world been doing it for years. In Jamaica, they've been doing it for years. That's why they're being successful. In Trinidad, they've been doing it for years. But here in the Bahamas, we have to catch up. This is how they've been doing it for years. This is how it works. You understand what I'm saying? You have to get a PR person who have the connections, who can get your stuff places where you can't get your stuff. And so that's the key.
Let me ask you, do you think we're still too skeptical about trusting our own? Because the talent is there.
That's it right there. A lot of time you would see they would rather spend their money with a stranger than spending their money with. I tell you, I had people who I stayed in the same room with, did ministry with, who I thought was my friends. When I started out, brother, they told me before they give me $1, they rather give somebody else. Well, if I give you this, are you gonna prove you're gonna make sure prove you say, am I giving them surety that they're gonna get about 2 or 3 bookings? And I was like, what? If a stranger come to you from out of the US, would you come on to them like that? No, they won't. You understand what I'm saying? I had people, and that's why I've separated myself and a lot of people, and they trying to figure out why Landlord don't mix up with these set of people no more, because of the things they've done to me, brother. I had these people right here in the church and in the music scenery where they told artists not to support me. Don't support me. And these same people come to them and they doing certain things, and I would tell them, yeah, man, go and support them. This is what they do. They does it well. They have a family to feed, but guess what? I won't stop them from feeding their family, but they rather see my family starve. You know what I'm saying? And I watch them go to people who charging $2,000, $3,000 a month to do PR work. But these people has come to me asking me to help promote their artists. But they rather go and spend their money with them. But these people now, they come to me to use my platforms. They're getting paid for.
Hey, that's funny. Let's play with this for a minute, right? Because I had somebody call me from home and they say, "Hey, man, I want you to be my coach. I want to go through your coaching program." I sent them the package. I think it was like a $1,500 package, right? And they reached back out and they said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna get back to you." They never got back to me. About 6 months later, I saw them online and they say, "Hey man, y'all pray for me, man. Just signed up for." If I call the name, you'll know them. They say, "Just person's leadership certification for coaching."
Yeah.
I know the person is $8,500, right? It's $8,500. Now watch this. Then I saw about 6 months later, they're like, "Hey, graduated, got the certificate." And it's been 2 years. I still don't know their names, and they still haven't done anything. And now here's the deal: no results. Now they went 8,500. Now here's the deal: I have my clients. I'm like, every single one of my clients. Listen. Anybody who's going through my 6 months or 1 year program, I'm like, I can show you. There's nobody, hands down. I tell them straight down. I got a money back guarantee method. Like, literally, I'm telling you, we gonna get you where you and I agreed to. Now it has to be a you and I agreed to where you're going, right? I say that to say this: you have a price for the service that you provide. There are a lot of people who don't respect that.
No, they don't.
Mention they would go elsewhere. The unfortunate thing is, like you mentioned, Jamaica has a system that has been built now for a while, and guys are cashing in on it. Trinidad and Tobago and so forth has their system that's been established, but the Bahamas, we have the talent, but we're not trusting each other to help elevate each other when we find that we have a service that can help elevate us. Which then takes all of us up as a country, which allows us to take a part of the pie in the world. Right. And so with that said, I just want us to close and remind people, listen, the gift within demands the support of those around them in a healthy way. It really, environment, as you mentioned earlier, is important. We have to be our brother's keeper. And trying to keep bread from my mouth is ultimately also keeping bread from your mouth.
Exactly.
You know, and here's the crazy thing. You go to a cable channel and you'll discover they got thousands of cable networks, programs. Thousands. You know why? Because there's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody. 8 billion people in the world. I don't have to be envious of you. You don't have to be envious of me. I was telling somebody, I just need my 1 million crew. I just need a 1 million clientele base. I just need 1 million clientele base. And I want to mentor and coach and develop 1 million leaders. That's my. Look how many other people out there. So,
but they're not getting fight like you getting fight. They'll get support by the same people who fighting you quicker.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? And you know the funny thing about it is, bro, the people who believe in me, and the word is so true. A prophet is without honor in his own country.
Wow.
Real talk. You know, I have people all over, because a lot of times if you look at my status and if you really watch that, you will be thinking, you know, boy, he don't really push his own. It ain't my own. It's the people outside who really believe that I could deliver more than the set in my own town. Now I have people who are coming on slowly from the Bahamas, and I like that, because that is what I really want. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of talent.
You know, they want to see you win first.
They want to see you win first. But I'm telling you, I'm getting people right. Like right now, I'm about to head on tour in Africa on the 22nd, where I'm spearheading a tour in Uganda and Kenya, and we might go down into Tanzania. I have a Grammy Award nominee, Stellar Award nominee artist who worked with Bishop Rance Island, Ben Tankard. He's one of my artists from out of America. I'm bringing him down there in Uganda. We have a concert lineup for the 22nd. Everybody's excited. We have a media tour, TV, radio. Then I have another artist from out of Canada. He's flying in, and then I have an artist from out of Kenya. He's coming in, and so we have a big church that has over 80,000 people. They're excited to have us, so they'll be performing there. And then we have different performances on the orphanage, university, and TV, radio. And then from there we go down into Kenya, and the same thing. And people are loving what I'm doing, bro. You know, and a little island like this, you know, could produce greatness, brother. You know, and you see Dr. Miles and many others have did it. Me and you can do it too, bro. And I've been watching you, man. And you're doing it, bro. You're doing it.
Hey, my statement is, with the dust settled, I'll still be here.
I'll still be here, brother. Still here, brother. Still here.
Climbing.
Yes.
And so, man, I wanted to have this conversation with you. I knew you were going to provide some good stuff just to encourage the hearts of some
Yes.
people out there. We have viewers all over the place. I love the region, and I'm from the Bahamas. I love home.
Yes.
I just knew that, hey, tonight I wanted to make sure people know, hey, there are guys who are chipping away.
Yes. Yes.
And here's the deal, eventually, bro, even though you're already killing it, there's this next level where it takes off and what they call go viral, and then you become a global phenomenon, and then he came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Hey, man, give a closing thought to our artists that are out there, and just let them know how can persons around the region, anywhere in the world, how can they contact you, and obviously the services you guys offer. Let them know.
Okay, well, you can contact me on my website, which is positivetvglobal.com, or you can email me at positivetvbahamas@gmail.com. Instagram, Landlord242. It's so easy to find people on social media. Just Google their name and you'll find them. And I do promotions for Africa, the Caribbean, the UK, Canada, the Bahamas, wherever, radio, TV interviews, whatever, newspaper. I think there's a lot of great talent out there, and they are just sitting down, and a lot of people are being turned off. They're giving up because they're not getting that opportunity to get out there. And I want to be able to help them, show them the way how to get out there. And it's not hard. It's simple. My dream, to tell you the truth, Ricardo, is to take a unknown person who nobody knew and instantly take them on a global stage. And that's why I named my website and my show Positive TV Global. I want to take you global instantly, where you're not only just playing in the Bahamas, but you're playing in Zambia, you're playing in Malawi, you're playing in South Africa. So every time people turn on their radio, and they're on radio, they're hearing you. They turn on their TV, they seeing you. And so that is the key, the power of media, programming people.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard it right here on Effective Living YouTube and Facebook channel. The goal is to inspire, encourage, and challenge you to give all you can to creating your best self. And somewhere along the line, here's the deal. The goal here tonight was for you to listen to what my brother had to share, and you extract what's for you. Okay? Be encouraged to go forward and be just as faithful to the call as he has been faithful to the call. Thank you for being such a great example, bro. And it's amazing. I want to say this in all due respect, bro. We don't get to talk. We've never sat down and have a meal together per se. But I'll tell you this. And I think I'm trying to learn how to do this more in this season of my life, where we have to give roses while people are alive. We have to cheer people on whenever we can.
Yes.
Right in their face, genuinely. Yes. And I have to tell you, you've been an inspiration. You've been an encouragement. Your consistency has been one of the most highest form of salute that I have for you. Wow. And like I said, years ago, I watched you on the stage when I still was trying to find myself on stage. Yes. And so we both are in pursuit of maximizing our potential. Let's keep chucking, bro. Let's keep chucking, because, ladies and gentlemen, when the dust settles, we'll still be here.
I like that.
Hey, man, good night, Landlord, man. Bless you and your family. Thank you for giving us some of your time tonight.
Thank you, too, man. Have a great, great night.
God bless you.
All right.